show lined up for you. Again, thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate all the love and the support. If you have not already, go ahead and go subscribe to Queen MyQuality on YouTube. Check out the things I've been doing on there. Also, go ahead and follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Have a great show lined up for you. I have the owner, CEO of Complicated Styles in the building. Well, on the Zoom. Hello.
Hello. Oh, there it goes.
There you go. Hey.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Everybody, this is the owner of Complicated Styles. I cannot pronounce your first name, and I don't
Oh,
want
it's okay.
what is it?
30 years, that's all I get. Sergey.
Rajay. Okay. How you doing, Miss Rajay? Again, she's the owner of CEO of Complicated Style. She has a very complicated style, which I love because I feel like I have a complicated style as well. We're going to get into that and how you even got into the whole thrift store. Because I call myself a thrift store connoisseur, and so that's kind of my thing. But I'm going to let you introduce yourself, tell the people just a little bit about you, and then we're going to get right into it.
Well, hi again. My name's Roger. I'm originally from Anchorage, Alaska. 30 years old, but looking 18. Try my best. And the biggest thing or the best thing about me is I have two amazing little boys and my company.
Yes, so congratulations on just everything. You just opened up a storefront. So we're going to get into that and just how you even started. How did you even come into, first of all, what brought you from Alaska to Dallas, Texas? Like, let's just start there. What made you want to come here? Well, come to.
Well, it actually started, I grew up in Alaska for 18 years, and on my 18th birthday, I'm like, I gotta go, Mom. I mean, I love it here, it's great, but I gotta spread my wings. And so since we got there, because we're military originally, because no one just goes to Alaska. And at 18, I came down here to Killeen, actually, in Fort Hood, and I lived with my dad first. And then that wasn't working out, so I was like, let me go even further. And then I was in Austin. But since I wasn't 21, there wasn't really much to do. So I was like, let me try somewhere else. And then I hopped up on my whatever and came down to Dallas. And I've been here for, I think, 10 years now. And I was actually on my way back to Alaska 5 years ago, but my first king was born. So I was like, let me just stick here because it's really important that it's a two-family thing.
Mhm.
So that's what kept me in Dallas is my boys.
Okay, that's amazing. Wow. So at 18, you were that courageous. See, we're the same age. I think I'm a few months older than you. So I just turned 30 as
Mhm.
well. Welcome to the 30 Club, sister.
Loving it.
Loving it so far. But to think that you were that courageous at that young. Like I thought I was courageous, but I didn't make a big move until recently 30, and I just moved to New York. You definitely made a big move at 18. So I'm glad that it brought you here. So how did you get into fashion? Is that something that you started like there, or once you came here, you kind of got into that?
Um, I kind of, when I look back at it, it started back in 8th grade. I was actually bullied for the way that I dressed. And that was a big like downfall for me that year. So it didn't really hit me until I came here. And a friend of mine, Eileen, who you actually know really good, and my boyfriend were like, your fashion is really nice. I mean, no one really does what you do. You should actually put it out there. So those two are actually ones who were like, do it, and that's what made me want to. And because fashion nowadays it's set to just one person,
Mm-hmm.
one size, and I didn't like that, especially because my size was going up and down. So I just didn't think that was fair. And I come from a family that got like, they got it all. So I was like, that's just not fair that they can't find what only one person can find. So that was a big thing for me, just to open up the fashion world to everybody.
Okay, that's dope. Again, and you brought up Miss Eileen. Shouts out to her. She's actually the reason why we met. When I first met you, you were pregnant with the second king,
Yes.
and y'all came over, and I met you then, and yeah, so shout out to Banks. That's my girl. I hold her very dearly to my heart. Y'all go check out the This Is Not a Safe Space podcast. Those two ladies are hilarious. But yeah, that's dope. So with the fashion, do you go like to the thrift stores and you get it, or do you make some of the clothes yourself, or is it like a mixture? How did you get into
So it started with just buying wholesale because I just wanted to get in the game and see how it works.
Mhm.
And then I'm starting to do more of the like my own thrift store type of thing. But with that being really big, I don't want to get lost in the crowd. So I am learning to sew a little bit myself. So I'm starting more with like bags and stuff just to get a feel of how the sewing machine works. So I'm not like just jumping in because I don't want to give just anything, especially with
Right.
clothing. I want to make sure I'm doing it right and it's good quality. So I go to the thrift store and I more like alter it for now. And then I'm working on a whole line, hopefully in the next 6 months to a year, fingers crossed,
Mhm.
so that everything can be mine.
Okay, and then you also just recently got into like the health and the beauty. You made some stuff called that stuff, if you will. So tell us a little bit about that and how did you want to transition into health and beauty? Because it all pretty much ties together if you think about
Yes.
it, fashion, health and
Mhm.
beauty. So tell us about the stuff.
That was actually an accident. My mom would make her own like body just lotions and everything because she just didn't like the ingredients and what was going on. So we were making it for ourselves. But then I had my son and I never knew bad skin. Thank God my mom never let me wear makeup and everything. And in Alaska, harsh weather, so I never knew bad skin. But when I had my first son, it's like he was breaking out from everything. Like he couldn't use even Dove, and that was a big go-to for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I started making my own lotions, and I just made it to where it fit his skin. And then my boyfriend started using it in his beard, and he's like, "Yo, I'm seeing a really good change in my beard." And then after my first pregnancy, I lost my hair, and I didn't know what was going on. Come to find out, it's just hormones. So the stuff really came in handy because I would use it in my hair, and then I also got eczema when I was pregnant, which is really weird because it only flares up when I'm pregnant. I don't know how that works.
Mm.
So just tying that all together, I didn't want to spend hundreds of dollars, and I don't know what they were putting in it. And at least if I made it myself, I knew what I was putting in it. So that's really how the stuff came about, and it just blossomed.
Okay, I can't wait. I'm gonna get me some because with me starting my dreads, and this is like the second time I had them. And like you said, my hair, it changed my hair pattern because right before this, I dyed my hair like real red, and I noticed that it changed my hair pattern. And so now I need something. And like you said, I'm starting to be more conscious of like the ingredients and stuff, and I want something more, more natural. I even just recently I made like some aloe vera stuff and put it in my hair. So
Oh yeah.
I'm experimenting as well. But so you've been having it for a while. You're just now actually putting it out on the market.
Yes. So my son's 4. I've had his actual ingredients since he was born, 4 years, and then the stuff me and my mom made, I had for I think about 2 years before he was born. So about 6 years, I was using just the stuff for myself. And then Eileen, of course, took some of my stuff as well, and that was another reason she's like, "This is really good. You need to start marketing." But I was just worried that I had to go through all these test phases, and I had to go through certain steps, and then I started looking at it, and it's really just making sure you're using natural ingredients and you're being truthful about what you're using. So I just did a test run on, family, of course, make sure it's not breaking anybody out,
Mm-hmm.
see what if I need to do a scent one or non-scented one, and just seeing how the consistency is of it.
So you can actually use it both. So is it two separate ones, or you can use the same one for your hair, your skin, everything?
It's
Okay.
head to toe. The body whip is head to toe. So I use it to my hair. I think my aunt uses it for her feet because she was having really dry feet during certain seasons. And then I just gave it to someone for their eczema because theirs is a little bit worse than mine. And so it's really just, I'm trying to make it an all around thing instead of having, as Black people, we always have to have 50 million different products just to
Mm-hmm.
battle one thing. So I
Right.
was like, that's too much. It was getting way too expensive. So I tried to just make it into one thing.
Okay. Well, that's dope. That is dope. I can't wait to get back out there. It's in Plano. The actual store is in Plano now, right? Yeah, I can't wait to get out there and check it out. I'm so proud of you again, Lord. The first time we met, I don't even think that I knew that you were all into all of that. I think you mentioned something about like complicated styles, but I didn't know that it was like as big as it is. So that's amazing. I'm really excited about that. I want to get back on the fashion and how you mentioned about making clothes or wanting clothes for be able to fit everyone. That's really important. You know, how did that get, well, you said that, you know, basically you just wanted, you know, for your family and everything like that.
Mhm.
Can you give like some tips to anybody out there who's wanting to start? Like you said, you started out with the wholesale, you know, just little tips and useful information on that. How would someone get started if they wanted to?
Well, the direction I went, I kind of wouldn't actually suggest it because I feel like it wasn't the right way. But after doing my research and really looking into it, there's a district in LA, and I did not know about this district, but it's a huge wholesale district. So the very first thing, of course, you want to get registered. That's the best thing you want to do because you want to make sure you have something legit. So when you go to these stores, they know that you're not just playing around and you're actually about your business.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them do require you to have the licenses. Some are you could just go in and play with it, which is okay. But again, with it being everyone starting up, you just want to make sure you're legit. So it's like the LA Showcase Room, I believe. If you Google it, a lot will pop up, and it just has over hundreds of different wholesalers. And you always have to buy in bulk. So you want to make sure you're buying for your audience and not just buying because it's cute. That's another thing that I messed up on. I'm like, oh, this is cute. Oh, I want to try this. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I ended up with a lot of inventory that I have still from 2014. And that's another reason why I got into making my own stuff because I don't want to just get rid of this inventory or I don't want to just throw it away or donating it. I'm trying to reuse and recycle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I found out a lot of clothes that you donate or give away or throw away, it's ending up in landfills as well. So I'm like, that's not something I want to be a part. I'm trying to go as much green as I can. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really trying to make sure I use all of my I have. So really it's just wholesale is the first step to go and you just want to buy for your audience. Make sure you know who you're selling for. And then you want to make sure you have a presence. Instagram and Facebook, it's really good and all. It's just you can get lost in it, which is another reason why I opened up my own store because I don't want to be in it for the popularity. I want to be in it because there's a cause for what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so just to get lost in that, it's too much. But starting off, Instagram, Facebook, they're saying TikTok, which I hate to say this, I know nothing about TikTok, but they're saying that's a really good advertising tool. And really just speaking with confidence about your business when you're first starting. You may not know much, but that confidence and just speaking about it, that's really going to get you far if you're starting off.
Hmm. See, I wish I would have known you years ago. I tried to take my hand in, you know, opening up a thrift store, and but I didn't know anything about nothing. My grandmother had just passed, and I always, you know, used to plan her clothes, and like I said, I've always liked the thrift stores. I like, you know, I have a complicated style, if you will, and so she had left, you know, all of these things, and I didn't want to be a hoarder. And so,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that's what that used to be one of her things. And so I wanted to open something, you know, in honor of her. And I took my hand at it and it didn't last. You know, in my mind, I was like, I don't have to open this. I'm going to be rich in like 6 months and my store going to be everywhere. And, you know, I went in it, didn't, like you said, getting registered. I you know, just went out on a limb. And so this is good, useful information for people who are like me and just jump out on the porch. Like, no, there's actually steps, you know, that you have to take. That's really important. I did like the whole vendor thing, but yeah, I didn't know what I was doing at all, girl. I didn't. I did not. So yeah, so that's awesome. I also see that you know, you have a YouTube page with you and your boys, and so you're just an all around entrepreneur, if you will. How has it been raising two young men, especially in this whole pandemic and being quarantined and everything? How is all of that going for you? How's your mental health and everything?
To be honest, with my first son, because I'm completely honest when it comes to kids, it was a total mess because you know in our dream world growing up, we always want to get married, go to school first, you know, make sure all that is in order. And with my son, it's kind of weird to say he kind of just happened, but in a way, he was my push because I felt like I was 25, and so I felt like I was still trying to party when I needed to really focus on pretty much building my company.
Mm-hmm.
So with him, it was really hard because at first I was a single mom. Even though we co-parented really well, still having to have those two separate households, it was kind of hard. But once we got back together and our second son came, it's been rough, it's been rocky, but it's been fun. It's a wonderful experience, especially with two boys. me being a girl, I mean, I don't know anything about boys. I don't know how you're supposed to raise them, to the point where I don't even know how to potty train them. So having these kids has been amazing. It's been a wonderful experience because you're literally seeing yourself grow up. So it's like, wow, my mom went through this. And then I'm more thankful, even though I love my mom and she was amazing. It's just to see them and see what I'm going through with them. I'm like, yo, she was a real trooper. So in the pandemic, it's been a little bit harder because my kids love to be outside. They love to explore, and they're not really homebodies like I am. And so that's been the hardest part. But we're hanging in there. We got them into a sport. That was the big thing. Once sports opened back up, it was a little bit easier. And then my oldest in pre-K, so that's like a big thing. And he's just learning, but he's feisty just like me because we're both Leos. So he's like, he knows what he wants, but
we thought we said that I'm a Leo too. When's your birthday?
Yes, August 20th.
Okay, so I'm July 25th. Yeah, so two Leos under one roof.
So 2 Leos, a Gemini, and a Taurus. Oh, girl,
that is fun. I can see how fun.
It's a lot of fun. It's different.
That's amazing. I follow you, so I catch your little stories here and there. You be having me dying, laughing, like, oh my goodness, I would just love to be in that house. But
that's amazing. And I get that a lot, like a lot. They're like, you be going off the rails, and they're like, your boyfriend said he knows what he got into. We've been together for over 6 years. He already knows how feisty I am, and every day he's like, man, I got 2 Leos. I said, yeah, I prepared you for this, but at least he's a Leo boy. They're a little bit more calmer than Leo girls.
Yeah,
but in the same. Yes.
We are different. We got a chance to kick it. We went to the big Crit concert, though. I think that was the last time I got a chance to see you. It's amazing. That was so much fun. I can't wait to get back out there and do something when all of this stuff open back up so we can get back out and go to concerts and all of that. How was it opening up a storefront in the pandemic, and what made you want to go ahead and decide? Because I know you have been doing it online for a minute. What made you want to decide and jump out there now during this time?
It was actually really scary. So 2 years ago, my business wasn't really running. I was working corporate. I had to focus on there because having a mortgage and kids, you got to pay, they come first. But after losing my mom, I'm like, I have to focus on this because it's something I want to build and leave for them. How I lost her, if my kids were to lose me that fast, I want to make sure I leave them something. And so the online presence, I just felt like it's a popularity contest now. And I've never been the one to want to be popular. I've never been the one to really want to put myself out there on that type of level. So I had to find another way to really get my name out there and step away from all the online boutiques, all the people that are just doing it just, as a hustle, which isn't bad. Because I started out technically as a hustle. But I wanted to make sure I stood out. And so I was like, I have to take a leap. I have to have more faith in myself and my business. And if I want to grow, I have to put myself out there. And so I figured what better way than to have, Black owned business in actual Plano. And it was really hard to find a storefront that was owned by someone that looked just like me, or a storefront that was owned by someone as young as me. So I said, let me try and start that new trend so that I'm not trying to follow the trends. And that's a really big thing for me. I don't want to be a follower. My mom never raised me as that. And so I really wanted to be a leader. So I took the big jump, and it was scary as all could be. It was next to childbirth. It was the second scariest thing I've ever done in my life.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, how was it going from corporate? I battle with it every year. I say, you know what? By the end of this year, I'm gonna be my own boss, and I'm, still in there. And I even said that, like, me moving to New York, I was like, okay, when I get there, I'm gonna just be on this full entrepreneur kick. And it's like, no, because it's comfortable. You get comfortable in that security. So how was it like taking that big leap to say, you know what? I'm going to be my own boss. Like, and I commend you on that as well. Let me just say that, because that's really brave.
Honestly, it kind of wasn't my choice. So when my mom did fall ill, of course, I was working for Capital One, and I'd been there for 6 years. And I loved my job. It was easy. It was really great to go to. I didn't mind waking up in the morning, so I loved working it. But going back to Alaska to take care of her, they wouldn't hold my job for me. And I had to think, I said, do I want to go back into the corporate world where they don't even care that, I had to pick my mom over my job. That's this person who gave me birth. And they just didn't care. It's like, they're like, well, I didn't even ask them to pay me. I'm just like, can you guys just hold my job? And they just said no. So I had to think back to, there's this guy making millions of dollars off of me, and they couldn't even take the time to say, hey, she's not a bad employee. She's good. She's working for us. Just let us save her job. So they're not going to save my job. The next company's not going to save my job. And I really had to make a decision because, I'm feeding two mouths, and I have a mortgage, car payment. And I'm like, do I want to do this? Do I want to take my whole life savings that I have, my 27 years of savings, and leap into this and see if I can do it? Or do I want to go back to corporate life? And I wasn't making any progress in corporate. It felt like I was just stuck, and they didn't like me. I had changed everything about me. Like, I was this happy-go-lucky person, like nothing keep me down. And it's like I turned into someone who was doubting myself constantly at this job. So I was like, I don't want to go back into corporate. I want to work for myself because I want to build a company that people are happy to go to work every day. Like, I want people to work for me, but be happy to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Be happy that they have to take a little bit of time away from their kids to come to this job because it's worth it. So really, that's what gave me the strength to keep going, because it's either this or I go back to a corporate world that didn't care about me or my kids. And I don't like that feeling. I hate it.
Yeah, the whole reason of me coming to New York, had to go through, an emergency or whatever, and come here and be with a loved one. And the job that I was working for Humana Pharmacy, and they pretty much did the same thing. Like, are y'all serious? Y'all really?
Yeah.
Like, I'm making all of this money for y'all. I'm here every day. I done been sick. I done, just sacrificed everything to be here. And you're not going. And I was just, and what's crazy? I was just trying to go away for 2 weeks originally, just for 2 weeks. That's all I needed. To send me 2 weeks. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm not about to care. Like you said, it all starts with the management. You ever have those jobs where, the job itself is not hard, but the people, the management, your employees, everything about it is hard. So when you go into those spaces, it's like you're miserable. Miserable. Yeah. And so have you been able to like hire employees yet? Or you just, right now it's just you by yourself? Your family?
Right now, I would say just me by myself, but I'd be kicking myself in the butt. It's me, it's my boyfriend. I have a new business partner we're starting a whole separate company. But even though that's separate and she has her company, she's been helping me as well. And then of course I have Mylene, who's been helping me, my sister, and then my boyfriend's family has been a really big push for me. They've been, the way they talk about my business to other people, and they didn't have to. Like, I know that they love me because, I gave them their new cousins and everything, but the support that they show outside of me, just me, for me, it's been all of them that's been helping me with everything. Even the skincare line, that was another thing. I call her my cousin because, fingers crossed we get married. Not me, my cousin, me, my boyfriend. So she's actually another person who helped me with the skincare line because she was doing something on her side. So she gave me a lot of tips as well. Okay. So really it's been family and friends, the close friends that I have. My best friend from Alaska, she was one of my biggest supporters as well. They have really been helping me push myself and making sure that I'm really big on veering off track. So they've been really keeping me focused. I haven't been able to hire anyone yet, but I'm hoping, because I do need a lot of help for what I'm going through. So hopefully this time next year is when I'm hoping to start hiring people on.
That's amazing. So what tips with corporate, even though there's a bad side of corporate America, I always say that you can take a lot of things from corporate America, if you will. So what did you take from corporate America that you're wanting to implement into, your company? I know for me, customer service is really big. That's one thing that I definitely learned, and me being in the medical field and working all through the medical field, that's the most important thing. If you're the first face that they see, so that's one thing that I always said, you know, that I'm going to take those core values, even though to me they push customer service and empathy, but they don't even have empathy or good customer service, if you will. But that's a whole nother topic. So
Yes.
what did you take, and what are you going to implement into your company now?
Mine is more customer service for my employees, because you are right, customer service is very big. But I feel like with my personality off the top, I already have good customer service. If I get a bad product, I'm automatically going to ask you, would you like a refund, or would you like me to redo it again? Because I want to make sure I'm really good at what I do. So I take really criticism is the biggest thing as well. But the main thing is customer service to my employees, because again, I want them to know that they're not just working for me so that I can have a vacation house or a jet and everything. They're working for me because I want them to build something as well. So I really just want to push pretty much customer service to my employees as much as customer service to my customers.
Okay,
That makes sense.
that's
That's the
amazing.
biggest thing I took away from, because the corporate life I lived, it, I worked two for two big banks. And the first one discriminated against me because of my age. I was the best. I was top notch in training, and they still treated me like I was nothing because I was 21. And the second one, they just discriminated against me because of my personality. And I don't know why I had to change myself if my work was 100% plus some. So corporate life, as much as I know they're great, it's just depending on how big they are, they don't have the heart.
Mm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As far as like the last company I was with, their biggest thing was, well, you got to be empathetic to these patients, and you got to be, you got to sympathize with them. And it's like, but y'all only doing the same thing to us. You wanting us to bend over backwards for these people that's cussing us out every day, talking bad to us,
Mm-hmm.
and treating us like this, and then we don't even get the help and the support from y'all, and we're making the money for y'all. So.
Oh yeah, they took our bonuses away my last job, and then like a couple months later, they're just expanding their business.
Oh
So you
wow.
took our bonuses, but gave the customers more, and now we have to give the customers more. So that doesn't make sense to me. So they didn't take care of home in order for us to take care of their customers, and that's what really was big. Like, how are we supposed to take care of your customers and you guys aren't taking care of us?
Hmm. Yeah, well, good thing that one thing this pandemic has done, it is birthed a lot of, it helped us to, when I say us, I mean Black people, helped us to, recognize like now is the time. Now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to do, you got this idea, now is the time. And it has
Yes.
bloomed a lot of Black owned businesses. And I think that it is beautiful. I'm glad to be a part of it. Again, I keep saying it because I mean it. I'm proud of you as well, just to see your growth, and to have been following you for like maybe like a year. I think because Eileen was like my second guest on this podcast, if you
Oh
will.
wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna have her come back, and so as I'm growing this, to be able to see people grow and how far they come, that's why I do this, and it's amazing. I'm excited for it. If you're looking for any
Yes.
brand ambassadors, I'm your girl. You know what I'm saying? We can
Are you?
definitely,
Because I am. Look. I'm looking for some. Listen, I'm looking for some complicated dolls.
you
So
know
yes, because
what?
that's. I'm trying to. You know how Beyonce has her beehive.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Beyonce.
I
I'm
like
looking to
that.
start something. So I have my complicated dolls. So yes, I am actually looking for brand ambassadors. So if you're really interested, I can definitely email you later.
Yes, we're gonna have to connect with that, because again, I'm trying to, this is a business, if you will. I'm trying to make the whole MyQuality brand, a whole brand, not just a show, but like I'm working on some stuff, some stuff as well too. Got a website, and I want to do some apparel and different things, and so that's one thing that I've been trying to, because again, I learned not to just jump out there, and so I'm
Mm-hmm.
learning there's a lot of people that that are pretty much doing the same thing, if you will. But one thing about, like, with your style, it stands out, and right now with everybody pretty much doing the same thing, you have to have something that stands out, and so
Yes,
I started painting more, and I was like, you know what,
I
I
saw.
want to also sell the paint, but I want to put it on like shirts and stuff as well. And so I've been working
Oh,
on
yes.
that. Yeah, and so I would definitely again love to be brand ambassador. We're gonna get into that. I've been looking for sponsors. Just again, just trying to expand more and do more.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would definitely love to try this stuff so I can be like, y'all, this stuff is working. Y'all see my edges? They coming back.
Yes.
That's what's up. So
And
what's
I do need I need to start testing on dreads too. So yes.
Yeah, okay. Bet we're definitely gonna get together on that. So again, I appreciate you for taking time out of your Sunday. So what's next for I know you just opened up the store, but where do you see yourself this time next year with everything that you have going on?
This time next year, I see myself as having my brand completely established because I still have some things that I sell wholesale, but I'm working on a bag line because I'm trying to outdo Michael Kors. I'm working on like joggers, suits, and everything. So I want to outdo Nike. Like I really want to go for the top because the brands they're wonderful. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just the cost, and I see how much they cost, and then I go behind the scenes and look at how they do it, and I'm like, it's a ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not trying to take them down. I still want them to thrive on their own, but I'm really trying to make sure that I bring honesty back to business, and it's not just about money. So I'm really just hoping this time next year my brand is really off and running. I'm working on crocheting myself because I used to crochet as a kid. I didn't know how much talent I had, and I just figured I could make hats. So I'm really just working on my brand, and this time next year I'm hoping it's a household name, and people are saying it because they love it, and they're just sharing it with everyone just because they just love the interaction they have. And I want them to know it's complicated is really not complicated.
I love that. That's awesome. But I like the name of it because a lot of times we really didn't have a name for it. It'd be like, I like your style, but it's that's I like to say that's different. But
Yeah,
it is complicated, and there's nothing wrong with being complicated. That's
at
what makes
all.
it authentic. That's what I like
Mm-hmm.
about it, the authenticity. I can't even. I'm sorry, I can't say that word, but you know what I'm trying to say.
All right.
the
Yes.
I love that. I love that. That's amazing. And so, yeah, I'm excited. What do you have planned for the rest of this Sunday? What are you going to be doing? It's a little rainy here. So
Well, we just got rid of all our rain. It's actually really sunny. I'm actually shipping the boys off to their Gigi, and I'm in the gallery today, so I'm gonna work on sewing because I have an itching to sew right now, and I have so many ideas I've been wanting to knock out the park. But having two kids, it's like you only get 5 minutes to sew, and then it's 3 hours to take care of them. And then 5 minutes, 10 minutes to yourself, and 4 hours to take care of them. So today is my day to just get on my sewing machine and just go at it. I'm just excited to post my new stuff that's coming out.
that's amazing. So you have yourself two little models, if you will. I'm sure you be making stuff and practicing for them. So let me ask you with the complicated style. So is it just for women, or are you expanding like for men as well? Do you have any men wear or?
Right now, my biggest market, of course, is just women's. But I've started to go into men's. Right now, I just have their toiletry bags. It's called the Bow, which is actually named after my dad.
Okay.
So all of my stuff that I'm making myself are named after someone in my family or having to do with someone in my family. So I have the beard oil that's for men. That's coming out hopefully soon by December. And then I want to work on ties and pocket. I don't want to call them pocket squares. Like I haven't figured out a work
Like the
theme for them, but
handkerchiefs?
that's the thing I want to.
Like the handkerchiefs?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I want those to match the wraps that I make. So, his and her wraps and handkerchiefs and stuff like that, or bow ties or ties. So that's where I want to start with men's line. But my biggest thing I want to do is suits. Because, a man in a suit is a woman in lingerie. So that's really what I want to work on. But right now it's really harder for men because men are they're not complicated at all. They're straight to the point. And so I'm like, it's hard, especially because my boyfriend's like, well, I don't want to wear a bow on my shirt. It's not a bow, it's my logo, but okay, I understand. So I really have to find something that is still my logo because
Mhm.
I came up with my own logo, and it's actually Complicated Styles, the C and the S, and a bow, because
Okay.
that's how I love bows. So I have to work on something that they'll wear that still represents that. It's like, well, no guy wants to walk around with it's complicated on them. I said, well, I got to find the guy that will, so that they know it's like, if this is for you guys too. So men is a little bit harder. But kid-wise, yes, I'm doing complicated kids because I have 6 nieces and nephews, and of course my little boys. So I'm definitely starting a line for them. I just got to see how I want to do it, because making their clothes is a lot easier than making our clothes. Like,
I
less
can.
fabric, less money, less everything, and it's way easier to just throw something together for them, because kids will wear anything
Yeah, they don't know. They
at
just
all.
some shoes that light up and they're perfect.
Yeah, my son has a pair of rain boots that he wears in the middle of August, and he just will not take them off. And I'm pretty sure they're a size too small, but I'll wait till he starts complaining.
That's cute. That is cute. And just to see you, and I know you said it kind of started when you were younger. My pops used to always call me Punky Brewster. Have you ever seen this show? It's like an old show.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's dope. It's dope to see you, actually living through that and actually being bold enough to actually, just be yourself, be authentic. A lot of times we get so caught up in the media and what they say looks good, and and that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing I see about you. Even right now, you just fashion down. So I like that. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. So, any last tips that you want to give people? Anybody out there, from Alaska all the way to New York and Texas, where you're at now? Any tips that you want to give, or anything that you want to, any last advice to anybody out there who may be wanting to jump out there and start a clothing line, or take the big leap and leave corporate? Anything that you want to leave with them?
My biggest thing is have a team. Have someone you can just go and cry to. Have someone who's going to tell you the truth, whether it's ugly or it's good. You want to have a team, and it could be just one person, or it can be 5 people, but definitely have a team, and definitely don't announce until you know you're ready to do it. Like, that was a big thing for me. I was announcing, but I wasn't putting out, and so it seemed like I wasn't working. So that's another thing. Just have your team and wait to announce. Make sure everything's in order, and you have your pictures, you have your information, you have your naming, and everything's just set so that it flows better, because it can get pretty messy, especially when it comes to tax seasons and the money and stuff like that. That was a hard lesson for me. So really just have your team and have everything in order before you launch. But if you want to do it, just do it. Just, if you have an idea, try it out. Even if it's just trying it out for 5 people, just try it. Because my dad, which we never were that close. But one of the best advice he gave me, because after losing my mom, he's like, you wouldn't know if you're going to make it if you don't try. And my dad is never the one for me to veer off track. He was the one, go to school, get your education, work for corporate and do all this, have your 401k. I would never thought for him to tell me that this was actually a good idea. So definitely try it. And of course, the biggest thing is have a team. Without my team, I wouldn't do anything. Absolutely nothing. Because who's going to encourage me and who's going to tell me when I'm wrong? Because I'm the one to just try anything. But you gotta have someone tell you to reel it back in.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, awesome. Well, let the people know where they can find you, where they can find your new storefront. Again, I cannot wait to come back and to check it out. Again, we're going to be, after the show, I'm going to hit you up again and we'll talk about, what we was talking about. But yeah, let the people know where they can find you. At the end of this video, I'm going to put a little clip of, your complicated style, the pictures that you sent me, and also
Okay.
a picture of the stuff. You guys check it out. I can't wait to order some. So yeah, let them know where they can find you.
Well, for Facebook, Snapchat, and also Instagram is the same one. So it's Complicated Styles, spelled COMPLICATED. Stylez is STYLEZ, because you got to be different. And then for my storefront, it's in Plano, 820 West Spring Creek Parkway, Suite 400B. And my name is finally on the door, which was so big for me. Plano, Texas. Then I have a phone number, 469-720-1402. You can call me at any time. I may or may not answer, but I answer my text all the time. And then, of course, my email, complicatedstyles@gmail.com. And I'm open if you just want to come and just talk. I have a whole sitting area, or if you just want to come and shop, I have a whole shopping area. So definitely come see me or hit me up on any social media.
That is dope. Well, again, thank you for taking time out of your Sunday to, let me interview you and to come onto my show. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. Well, it's been lovely. You
Thank
enjoy your
you. It
day.
was my honor.
You
Really. I was shocked. I was like, oh my God, I get to be on MyQuality for so real? Yes.
look at
Let
that.
me be on there. All of it.
That's amazing. Again, shout out to our girl, Miss Banks, Eileen. I love
Yes.
her. Y'all be sure to check out the This Is Not a Safe Space podcast. Those lovely ladies over there, they're doing their thing. They're growing and expanding as well. And again, she will be on here in a couple of weeks, coming up on the 2-year anniversary of this show. And so I'm going to bring
Oh,
back
yeah.
some of my old guests that we're going to talk about. And so hopefully, this time next year you can come back and, we'll be talking about how you got your second store open and now it's in Dallas and, Plano, you can talk about your growth as well. And I also
Yes.
wanted to comment on in Plano like that. That's big. To have a
And
store in Plano, that is big. And to be Black owned in Plano, let's talk about
yes.
that. That's big too. So,
Especially where I'm at, I was really surprised. And where I'm at is actually across the street from where my boyfriend's dad used to barber shop. So it has meaning to it. It's not like I'm left offered. I'm in a place that has growth. I'm next to a high school, which is a big artist of mine as well. So I was like, this is perfect. It's small, but it's me. And so it's a start. And then just the fact that I have the chance to grow and to move downstairs to even a bigger shop.
mhm.
I took that leap, and I'm working to get downstairs, and I'm working to get to a bigger shop, and I'm working to get back home to Alaska and open up a huge store there.
Oh wow, and I can't wait to visit. I'm coming to
Yes.
Alaska.
Hey, bring it on. Come on over. You'll be used to it. After New York, look, you could do the winters in Alaska any day.
Okay, yeah, because this is it's not even winter yet. It's still the fall, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm not used to this cold. I'm not used to this
December's
cold.
gonna hit you, but it's okay. Global warming's gonna warm it up a little bit.
So I get my practice in here, and I come to Alaska, and I'm a shop, and yeah. So I'm proud of you. Keep up the good work. Y'all
Thank
be sure
you.
to check her out. Check out everything that she has going on. You keep it up. And thank you for tuning in
Thank
to
you so
my podcast.
much.
You're welcome. You have a good Sunday. Stay warm or cool, however it is in Texas right now. But you be
All
good.
right.
And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. And I will see you later. And I'm going to email you. I'll
Okay.
send this video and everything to you by the end of the day. And so,
Okay.
all right.
Perfect. All right. Have a good one.
Thank you. You too. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.